Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Oh my God, YouTubers are going crazy. What is this woman doing? YouTube live one after the other. It is because our students are writing all the exams in the world. Students in Karnataka, students in Kerala, then students in Madhya Pradesh.
MP.
Are we doing MPPSC questions today, Ankita?
Yes, today we will be focusing on the unit of theory and criticism.
Okay, that's a good one. So shall I share the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
There you go. We have a PPT here with all the questions for you. Ankita, this is the presentation.
Yes.
YouTubers, YouTube babies, are you ready for theory and criticism? Here we go. The first question for you. Gender Trouble, Feminism and the Subversion of Identity is a book by the post-structuralist gender theorist and philosopher Judith Butler. Do you know Judith Butler? Of course you know. She talked about performativity here, isn't it? Here the author argues that gender is performative, meaning that it is maintained, created, or perpetuated by iterative repetitions when speaking and interacting with each other. Ankita, when we speak, when we do various actions, we are actually performing our gender.
Yes.
Gender is not an essential thing that we carry. It is a creation of our performance. And this is a book that was published in which year? Is it 1985, 1990, 1997, or 1989? I am sure this is an easy question. What do you think, Ankita?
Yes. Because Gender Trouble is such a landmark work when it comes to gender studies and all. And it's a very important year, 1990. It's a year when many other works were also published. So, 1990, that's the year when Butler's Gender Trouble was published. And even the subtitle of this work is very important.
Feminism and the Subversion of Identity. Bodies That Matter. Is it also by Judith Butler?
Yes.
Did Judith Butler talk about precarity, about vulnerability, about livability?
Yes.
Yes.
She also wrote Undoing Gender.
Yes. So today, guys, you should look up Judith Butler. Okay? Next question. Over to you, Ankita.
Yes. In Butler's essay, Imitation and Gender Insubordination, the concept of imitation primarily challenges what? So, what is she challenging through this essay? The idea of an original or authentic gender identity, Marxist class theory, psychoanalysis, or linguistic structuralism. What is Butler challenging through this essay?
I am sure the answer is the idea of an original or authentic gender identity. That is what she is challenging through this essay. Gender identity is a construct. It is given to us by our society. Right? All right. Here is an assertion reason question. Dear friends, I.A. Richards argued that poetry helps organize and balance human emotions. Is that correct? I.A. Richards argues that poetry helps organize and balance human emotions. The reason he gives is he believed aesthetic experience results from the harmony of impulses in the human brain. Aesthetic experience results from the harmony of impulses in the human brain. Ankita, are A and R true? And is R the correct explanation of A?
Yes, because in his work, Principles of Literary Criticism, Richards elaborated on this idea that how poetry helps us in balancing and working on our emotions, how it helps us in managing our affective life. So here, assertion is also correct. And the reason here, which has been stated, That's also correct. So the correct answer here, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. And please remember, I.A. Richards elaborated on this concept in his work, Principles of Literary Criticism.
Very good, very good. That's wonderful. So, that is the answer. Moving on. In tradition and the individual talent, what analogy does T.S. Eliot use to describe the poet's mind in the creative process? This is also easy, I'm sure. Does T.S. Eliot say the mind is a blank slate waiting to be written upon with emotions? Does he say the mind is a chemical reaction where the poet's mind acts as a catalyst? Does he say the poet's mind is a mirror reflecting the poet's personal experience? Is it a machine producing poetry based on prescribed rules? Ankita, the blank slate thing, I think, is from John Locke.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Poetry is a chemical reaction, maybe.
Yes. So in this essay, Tradition and the Individual Talent, that was published in the year 1919 for the first time, T.S. Eliot compared the poet's mind to a platinum filament in a chemical process, and how that platinum filament acts as a catalyst during the entire process. So this comparison of poet's mind to a platinum filament, it's a very important comparison from this essay, Tradition and the Individual Talent. Also, a very crucial element from this essay is the idea of tradition. How T.S. Eliot critiques and elaborates and deliberates on this concept of tradition, and how poets are affected, how the writing style of poets are affected by this history of tradition, and how tradition in turn is also altered and affected by the poets.
Excellent. So, Tradition and the Individual Talent is a very important essay. You have to read the original essay if you can. In the paid course, we'll be giving you lectures for all this. We have an MPPSC Assistant Professor Exam course with lots of lectures, PDF, then revision classes, quizzes, model tests. Those who want to, pass this exam with flying colors should join our course. And
Yes.
Ankita,
Yes.
those who are going to pass have already joined the course.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
Wallet students will pass.
And we are having classes at a wonderful pace from wonderful faculties. So we are having a power pack time here at Vallat.
Yes. All right. Ankita, your turn.
Yes. Which poem by Thomas Gray? Remember Thomas Gray, the transitional poet? So which poem by Thomas Gray was attacked for the use of poetic diction by Wordsworth in his preface to the lyrical ballads? We know that Wordsworth's preface to the lyrical ballads is famously known as the manifesto of the movement of Romanticism. And in this document, in this preface, Wordsworth had attacked the use of poetic diction of the 18th century. Instead, he had protested and he had promoted the use of common language of man. So, which poem of Gray was attacked by Wordsworth in his preface? Is it Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard, Ode on a Distant Prospect of Eton College, Sonnet on the Death of Mr. Richard Waste, or Ode on the Spring? Which work of Gray was attacked for the use of poetic diction by Wordsworth in his preface? It was his very popular Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard. This elegy was published in 1751, and it talks about the idea of mortality, about the life of common man, but it uses very hi-fi language, we can say, very grandiloquent language. And that was attacked by Wordsworth in his preface to the lyrical ballads, published in 1800.
Wow, excellent. And it was written in Stoke Poges. All the poems that you have to study, you should read original, the original poem, not only the summary. They will ask you lines from the poems. Right. According to Longinus, which of the following is not a source of sublimity? Longinus wrote on the sublime or perihampsus. Sublimity is something that is very grand and elevated. Sublimity is a certain excellence in expression, isn't it? Flashing forth at the right moment, displaying the power of the writer or author in all its plenitude. There are 5 sources of the sublime. 2 are innate sources, 3 are acquired sources. Which is not a source of sublimity? Grand thoughts, powerful emotions, dignified arrangement of words, exaggerated style. Sublimity is about grandeur of thought and powerful, vehement emotions. Dignified arrangement of words is also important, but exaggerated style is wrong. Longinus's sublimity is very close to Milton's grand style. Grand style of Milton is sublime. So, dear friends, MPPSC Assistant Professor Exam course is going on. We have just started. Believe in our live classes, the power of our lectures, the power of self-paced videos, which you get with lifetime access, the exhaustive PDF materials, quizzes, model tests, the support that we'll give you. We have a very scientific approach to exams and preparation based on educational methodology. And it has been time tested and also approved by educationists. Come to Valath, you will not regret it. If you have any problems with the way in which we teach or the classes or anything, you can always tell us. We are ready to change also if necessary, because we have grown to this level of being number 1 in the country by learning from our students. Our students have contributed tremendously to our growth and learning. Okay, Ankita, next question is for you.
Yes. According to Aristotle, tragedy is superior to epic because dash. Why tragedy is superior to epic according to Aristotle? Is it because it uses prose, or it lacks spectacle, or it has unity of action, or it is shorter in length? Why is tragedy superior to epic? It is because it is shorter in length. Aristotle believed because of its shorter length and more compact form, it delivered a more stronger emotional impact on the audience. That's why tragedy, he believed, is superior to the epic form.
Dear friends, please understand that tragedy is not separate from epic. Tragedy is a concentrated form of the epic. Right. The future of poetry is immense. This is the first line of an essay by, is it Matthew Arnold, Charles Lamb, William Hazlitt, or Oscar Wilde? The future of poetry is immense. I think is the first line of the study of poetry. Is it, Ankita?
Yes, it is the first line of the essay, The Study of Poetry by Matthew Arnold. And, if you look at the syllabus of MPPSC is also putting in a trick that they're only mentioning one work of Matthew Arnold, but they're also asking questions from other works of Matthew Arnold as well. So you have to keep an eye on all the major works of these authors prescribed in the syllabus.
Excellent. In the study of poetry, Matthew Arnold claims that for the poet, the idea is the fact. For the poet, the idea is the fact. The idea is the fact. What do you mean by that? Does it mean that the poet does not care to be factual? The poet confuses fact and fiction. Remember, guys, beware of extreme options. Does it mean that the poet is full of ideas? Does it mean that the poet values poetic truth more than empirical truth? I am sure everybody will see through our trick. Ankita, our YouTube babies are all answering D, 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 D. So the poet values poetic truth more than empirical truth. Remember that, guys? Okay, moving on. Ankita.
According to Derrida, the concept of a center in a structure historically functions to what? So, what is the function of the center in a structure? It enables infinite play by allowing unrestricted substitutions. Or does it limit the play of elements within the structure while appearing to organize it? Or does it abolish structural hierarchies within discourse? Or does it replace metaphysical assumptions with linguistic ones? So, whenever we talk about the idea of center, it entails an idea of authority, control. So, we can see that it limits the play of elements within the structure while appearing to organize it. That's the function of the center in a structure.
Limit the play of elements within the structure while appearing to organize it at the same time. That is the concept of a center in a structure. Right. A center is not an all-controlling entity. It is somewhat fluid and unstable. Right. In Derrida's critique of Claude Lévi-Strauss, the concept of the bricolier represents what? Is he a thinker who constructs theories using whatever conceptual tools are available? A scientist who rejects myth in favor of empirical reasoning? A structuralist who strictly follows methodological rules? Or a philosopher who rejects language as a system? I think he's not a thinker, but a tinker. I think this is a myth. Or thinker, or thinker, or tinker. Both.
Yeah, both actually, yeah.
A thinker who is a tinker. Constructing theories using whatever conceptual tools are available. Claude Lévi-Strauss talked about the concept of bricolier, and it was later discussed by Derrida as well. Very good. Ankita?
In conceptualizing Orientalism, Edward Said draws heavily on the theoretical framework of which philosophers' idea of discourse and power knowledge. So these phrases are very well known to us. Who talked about discourse and power knowledge? Was it Derrida or Foucault or Althusser or Gramsci? It was absolutely Foucault. Foucault talked about the idea of discourse and power knowledge, right? And these ideas of Foucault had greatly inspired Edward Said to formulate his idea of Orientalism. Orientalism, it's a style, it's an attitude of looking towards the East. Orientalism refers to the attitudes of the West towards the East. And the attitude is again reliant heavily on power knowledge binaries and also the idea of the discourse.
Excellent. That is a very good area that everybody should read upon. Said argues that Orientalism cannot be understood merely as a body of texts. Rather, it functions as dash. Is it a neutral academic field concerned with Eastern languages? A corporate institution that systematically produces knowledge about the Orient to maintain Western dominance? Definitely be. A literary movement promoting cross-cultural exchange or a diplomatic strategy? No. It is B. Orientalism is a corporate institution that produces knowledge about the Orient and claims to know everything about the Orient, isn't it?
Yes.
So, MPPSC assistant professor course is in full swing. Join Velat and give your future an extra push. We will be with you throughout until you reach your great career, till the interview. Isn't it, Ankita?
Absolutely. We're always here for all of you, all exams, all batches. So just keep preparing. Please trust us, and we will be reaching there soon.
Yes. Wish you all the best. And bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Yes. Bye.